Hi, it's Lee and welcome to the Tesla Economist. We're enjoying and celebrating these latest stock prices with Tesla. It's been an insane run to say the least, reaching $2 away, $280 in a pre-market the other day, from where we were looking at just an 8% more increase to the magic $300 price mark then. Okay, the Fed tried to shock the market a little bit yesterday. Tesla's stock price overreacted compared to most, probably because its run has been so good lately. Some are expecting a pullback. Also, the fact the auto industry is affected by higher rates, and Tesla is a high beta stock. I think there was a lot of FOMO building during this last run though, and many waiting for a pullback before they got in, yet it kept running and they missed their chance. The stock did drop to $253 today, but then closed above $264, and it's over $266 after hours right now at the time of this video, looking promising that there is a chance this run is not over, and we just had a little speed bump before we get to 300, which currently requires a 13% more rise. However, we still have some events on the way that we know of that should pump the stock, along with likely some unknowns too. In other words, we can still get a boost on this run, perhaps to $300. The stock price is up over 40% in the last month or so, but not through any major Tesla news and not from any actions. Okay, GM, Ford and Rivian admitting that they need Tesla's help when it comes to EVs does add some validation, but it's minimal in the scheme of things, and we all knew this beforehand. Obviously the competition needs to use Tesla's charging stations to have any chance. It just makes electric driving that much more convenient and possible. The same goes with Tesla's FSD. If Legacy want to compete with autonomy, they need cars that license Tesla's FSD too. Now, at the start of this year came some big stock pumps. A Giga Nevada expansion, Mexico factory, Investor Day, Cybertruck in production this year, 2 million potential production, Gen 3, etc., with an earnings call that gave retail investors renewed faith in the realm of possibilities from the company called Tesla, with some hyperballs claiming the stock was headed to $600. Sometimes Tesla stock energy gets beyond exuberant, and the waiting time for Tesla to complete their miracles feels relatively sooner. We can almost taste the prize, it feels so close. And the prize is big, maybe 10 times return on your money, according to Elon. That's what he told us, making Elon the first literal trillionaire, at least officially. There are now more elements at the edge of announcement that will give the stock price a similar pump. There are certain events this year that we can expect, or have been told to expect, that will hopefully push the stock to where we really want to see it. Firstly, I like to say how Elon and Tesla have set a relatively low bar for this year, yet the stock price has risen anyway. There isn't too much that is expected, at least not in the way of ramping. Elon said 1.8 million vehicles produced, or 2 million if nothing goes wrong, of which so far nothing appears to have gone wrong. So I guess we'll see if we're getting close to a possibility of 2 million with the next production numbers. This quarter, deliveries would need to be in the high 400s, I would say, to have a chance. But even around mid 400s means there is a strong likelihood of beating the 1.8 million figure, which I think the market would look favourably towards. But I don't think deliveries are really going to be able to push the stock too much. It's mainly priced in. From when it was first announced in the Q4 earnings call, it will just help the stock rise organically. No bad news is good news sometimes. I think 2 million may be a bit of a stretch, but 1.9 million could look like a possibility. Aside from out-of-the-blue announcements like Ford and GM praising Tesla for how far ahead they are in EVs and admitting defeat, putting Tesla in a relative position when it comes to EVs rather than ICE. As in, although Tesla's gross margins are currently lower than last year, they're still so much higher than everyone else's. And when the industry grows more and the others eventually become profitable, then Tesla will be that much further ahead again by then, which is hard to almost fathom, talking around the end of the decade. Tesla's lead will continue, or possibly even increase. Think how much resource goes into Tesla's EVs over Ford's. The next likely event to boost the stock will be the Model 3 Highland, and we recently saw some more spy photos of the rear taillight now, which has opened up new renderings, and I have to say, it looks really good. This is a really minor update, just new headlights, taillights, front and other minor aesthetics. We've had no pictures of the new interior yet. The only guesses we could make is something close to the Model S update. Anyway, you can have all sorts of impact just with new lights, as they tend to be what dates the cars the most in design. These will look cool, and perhaps good enough to boost demand for long enough until we are in a better economic cycle for the car industry. Avid Tesla enthusiasts are very excited about this new look and feel, so hopefully it carries over to the consumers. On top of that, when it comes to the Model 3, I've think another big deal is this new long-range Model 3 in the US with 333 miles of range. We know that it's not using 2170 cells from Nevada due to how it didn't initially qualify for the full tax credit, and it has to be using cells from China. It's less range than the previous Model 3 long range, so it's rumoured that it may not be using 2170 cells at all. We would also think that Tesla want to save as many 2170 cells as they can for Texas, due to the insufficient supply of 4680 cells. If Tesla is hitting this much range with CATL cells, whether they're LFP cells or new M3P cells, then this is very impressive. It's a very high range for cells that are not using nickel in the cathode, and it may be the start of things to come. Possibly with a huge supply coming from CATL's brand new factory next door to Tesla's Giga Shanghai factory. If CATL are producing cells as any dense as that, in these large quantities, then this will have a huge impact on the quantity of high-range vehicles Tesla can offer. I know it's not as exciting, as big, as shiny as Cybertrucks, but these are the fundamentals that carve a path to Tesla's future. But the Cybertruck is big and it is shiny, and it has captured a lot of people's attention, along with a lot of customers who've pre-ordered, although some bears are suggesting that the demand is not as high as we thought, with Elon saying they'll only make about 250,000 a year. Hey, that's only volume production. It would take 6 years at that rate just to fulfill the 1.5 million back orders, and that would assume no more additional orders in the meantime. It would also assume all 1.5 million orders get fulfilled, which they likely wouldn't. I have 5 of them on order, but I doubt I will buy all 5. And there are some reservation holders with over 100. I think a lot of people were speculatively buying for arbitrage, receive your truck early and sell it for more, or for a fleet of Cybertruck robotaxis. Anyway, Elon did also say they will make as many as people need after mentioning the 250,000 figure. In the past, I've guessed around 350,000 a year. However, the latest update was that Tesla have asked their suppliers to plan to meet a base production of 375,000 Cybertrucks a year, with a planned delivery even at the end of Q3, which is fast approaching. If Tesla have a gross profit of $20,000 per Cybertruck, including upgrades and FSD, then that would be $7.5 billion gross profit a year. But remember, Ford make nearly 1 million F-150s a year. Tesla seem to be the best-selling vehicle in their class. Maybe they can beat the F-150 too? Not sure, it might be a bit of a stretch, but the Cybertruck is a seriously badass vehicle, like no other before it. Anyway, a Cybertruck delivery event supposedly around September will obviously pump the stock more than anything else this year, as long as there hasn't been anything negative in the economy or with Tesla. I think most of us would expect this to take Tesla's stock price to 300 or above if it's not there already. And once production starts, Tesla aren't under any pressure to get ramping. And once production starts, Tesla aren't even under that much pressure to get the ramping up fast, with Elon literally saying ramping would be very slow. However, also saying volume production by the end of next year, which if achieved will be impressive, but potentially an unknown, although I'm sure Tesla shareholders will be lenient as long as they see some good progress. Before then, we'll have the earnings call, which will no doubt provide some Cybertruck updates and information, hopefully confirming the Q3 delivery event and possibly some other details. If Elon is delivering in good positive energy and appearing excited about how Tesla is going, along with some other positive points, similar to how the shareholder meeting was, then it will likely boost the stock a bit too. Perhaps some mention about advertising and when Tesla may start that, and what mediums they'll be using. What I really hope for is an announcement on when Mexico will break ground, but I'm almost certain that no one will ask anything about the progress with Mexico, or when we might expect a Gen 3 reveal. Mexico breaking ground is a really big deal, and will likely give the stock a boost too, but probably not as much as I think it should. It has been over 3 months since its announcement, so we would hope they start there soon. Anyway, there is the potential that all these events do occur in about the next 3 or 4 months. On top of the momentum the stock price has already, and the fact that the Twitter damage to the stock price has more or less been reversed, then I can see it heading north of 300. Like I say, obviously if there is no major macro crisis or anything like that. The stock has climbed a lot without much happening, so I think if we get some of these events occurring, it will further add to the momentum we have already experienced. The market is getting very bullish on Tesla again, so hopefully we can recover to a level where we are more accustomed. Hi there, I'm using Verbalate AI video translation and lip sync software. It's pretty amazing. Watch this. I can translate my videos into other languages. For example, I am now speaking Hindi.
नमस्ते, मैं पहली बार हिंदी में बोल रहा हूं, लेकिन वर्बलेट इसे इतना आसान बना देता है.
Or how about Spanish?
Hola, vaya, increíble. También puedo hablar español.
Sign up at verbalate.ai today to gain early access to trial the product for creators and strategic partners, and gain the ability to translate and lip sync videos in all major languages. You can view the info in the description below.